Well, moving on to our next contestant now is Neal Vaughan, who's a multidisciplinary artist. He's currently focusing on recording locations across the UK, following popular walks and trails to working on sketches or final works, plein air, I believe. Neal, I hope you can hear us. You're unmuted. And we can go over to you now to if you can talk us through your artwork.
Yes, certainly. Thank you very much for inviting me. I suppose my art is about the love of nature and the love of process is the most important thing for me, really. I suppose I'd like to thank everybody really for the privilege of being able to present today. I feel quite emotional about it. I suppose I use my art as therapy and as experiencing nature and experiencing the outside. I am predominantly a plein air drawer, and so even in weather like today, I'll be out and hopefully maybe tomorrow. I have a BA in fine art. I did that at Newport, then left, went into the media industry. I'm now left the media industry and came back to teaching. I run community events and run open studios for my local community and workshops. And we did 3 workshops during lockdown and to help with people through that. And we do art therapy as well. I sell mostly in the UK. I have sold for the Mall, I have exhibited for the Mall galleries as well. But I suppose really, if we come on to this piece here, which is probably the larger of the 2 pieces, which is the one of the rain in Wilderness Island. Really, this was started in the autumn, on autumn day, and it started chucking it down with rain. So I actually had to hold the picture down towards me a lot of the times to actually draw it. It's drawn in charcoal first, and then I layer on top with pastel. And I'm thinking really of just looking at shape and colour and tone. And I just enjoy really the surprise that weather and light gives you as you're drawing. This one particularly, I drew for 2 hours, then went back out the next day and did another 2 hours on it as well. And then the other piece, which was another Wilderness Island piece, which is the larger charcoal. This is an A2 sketchbook. So I only exhibited 2 pieces with you, so I wasn't too sure whether this was 1 or 2 pieces. But I kept it in the sketchbook, and you can see the whole sketchbook is full of journeys in Wilderness Island, which is very close to me. And this is done again. This is done with charcoal, but I kept it in charcoal. I didn't do colour on top. And this really again was slightly later, and this is now when the autumn is becoming into winter. And there was this gorgeous light coming over the trees. And I loved sort of trying to capture that across these 2 pages. And I use very, very unconventional methods. I use found charcoal. So I've got lots of different types of charcoal I use, really to sort of gain mark making within my work and that appreciation of mark and line and light. And really that's me there, really. So, so yeah, I just enjoy drawing. So yeah.
That's lovely. Thank you very much, Neal. That's great to hear that. Let's go to Richard. Richard, what are your thoughts on Neal Vaughan's work?
Neal, I absolutely love the work. I think it's brilliant. It's the kind of work which landscape work I'm always drawn to, not because it shows me what the landscape looks like realistically, but because it shows me what it is to walk through the landscape, where you notice tiny details out of the corner of the eye, where you are, kind of unfocused at times, where you're not, when we look, not everything is in focus. Most of the stuff we see is not in focus, but there are tiny moments which are in focus, and that's what you capture so beautifully in your work. And it's so exciting to see that, this confidence to not make it look realistic in sharp detail across the whole surface of the paper, but to allow us to go on a journey, noticing tiny moments of detail and then moments of kind of just blurring, which are kind of so atmospheric. I think the colour work, where you layer it with the pastel, really develops that, and it's just beautiful. The 2 charcoal and found charcoal works, again, the mark making, the different mark making, the hatching, moving through to the smudging, through to the tiny detailed. It's really exciting. If there's any comment, sometimes the transition, it can be difficult to go from a transition when you're looking at water between kind of the bright light and the kind of, and shadow and so on. I think you kind of, maybe with the drawing on the left of the sketchbook page, just some of that transition on the left-hand side, you could play with more, you could just look at again, but I love the work. To me, that is what walking through a landscape is about, and you've captured it so beautifully. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Richard. Sujata, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I also loved his work because I think there is some confusion, and that confusion creates a lot of interesting tension and a lot of interesting things around it, because there is a small reality, but it's not fully reality. And I think the way those strokes go, the confusion between colors, small details, not details. So I really think that he has a long way to go, and it's very interesting. I like the work. He can try his hand on even a very big space, very big canvas or a space or a paper, because that will give him even more liberty, and the strokes will have more strength, because I think his lines and his strokes, they have strength, and that strength can be explored or experimented in even in a larger way or even more intense way. That's what I would say. Yes, but I really liked your work, even the charcoal, the way you have handled it. It's very, very interesting, and I enjoyed it, really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Sujata. So Neal, you need to go big. Geeta,
Yeah.
I'm going to come to you very, very briefly. If you could give us a quick comment there.
Hi, Neal. What your work shouts to me is absolute consistency, and there's so much movement and fluidity within that work. And what I felt was you have tried to capture the moment, and you're rushing with your ideas and so on. Even though you said you went the next day to capture it again, the consistency is really beautiful. I mean, it doesn't seem like it was done in 2 sittings, like it was done in 1 sitting. And what, like Richard said, is very beautiful. Well, whilst it's mainly abstract, there are some very specific detailing that catches the light in that first one, where it's like a fern that catches the light. And that detailing really was so beautiful, very captivating. And I love the charcoal as well. Again, like Sujata said, you know, this you could make that into a bigger piece. I really loved your work, and wishing you the very best, Neal.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Geeta. Neal, do you have anything to say?
Briefly. I'm quite emotional. Thank you so much, everybody. It's interesting because, yeah, lots of people have been saying, Neal, go bigger, go bigger, go bigger. And that was a reaction to someone saying go bigger. I mean, yeah, that was a reaction. So I ended up going much bigger. And it was really lovely hearing people talking about that idea of kind of semi-abstraction and finding little figurative marks. And because Joan Erdley and Joe Mitchell are my 2 heroes, and that idea of going bigger like Joe Mitchell, but then finding those smaller details like Joan Erdley just rings true to me. So thank you so much.
Well, good luck, Neal. I hope you go far in the contest. We'll see what happens.
Cheers, thank you.